I guess the most important tech news yesterday was a series of OpenAI demos. I think that would be the most intriguing part of it. Honestly, it is incredible. I mean, I think there's no denying it. It is, no matter what, I think, denying it, incredible piece of tech, right? I think the improvement with ChatGPT, basically it goes exponentially. Between ChatGPT 2, compare ChatGPT, the improvement between 2 to 3 and 3 to 4, it's a even larger leap towards, I want to call it perfect AI, or I guess it's more of I would say functional AI, and it is incredible. I think couple features that's most noticeable will be the okay, first of all, I think first of all I really wanted to highlight the voice, the AI voice. It is incredible. I think it definitely not perfect. In a way, you can still tell it's AI, but it's getting harder and harder to tell. Like compared to before, the very robotic AI that you can hear, the British man AI text to speech type, compared to now, like what GPT-4o can do, it's almost night and day. Yeah, punctuation, the pronunciation, everything is so close to natural speech, and it's scary, very scary, because how easily you can sample people's speech. And now with this, like faking stuff, it's gonna be a lot easier. That's one thing. Voice, very good, sounding more and more natural. Second is the visual. I would say it's the visual recognition. So in the phone app, there's a camera mode, and during one of the demo is the interacting and singing, I guess, where it can see what's around it by using the phone camera and describing what's around it, the color, the object, the person, or most importantly, like someone walking to view and doing something. It can recognize that it's someone else doing something. And I think a lot of people didn't recognize this or didn't even talk about it. It's how they recognize texture. And I believe it did recognize texture because the guy was holding the phone, he was wearing a black leather jacket. And if it didn't recognize texture, then it should just say you are wearing a black jacket. But it said the black leather jacket. I'm pretty sure it did. And that is incredible. Either they kind of predicted, when you see a black jacket, you kind of predicting that it's a black leather jacket. Like you kind of assume that in your model, you go, okay, could be a black leather jacket, or there's actually some sort of visual recognition of leather, the texture leather, and it's able to tell the material. And first of all, you have to know what the material is, and you have to tell that is different material, and you have to identify the material. And that's crazy. That's just crazy. And I guess another thing is the desktop application for GPT-4o. I think it was one of the tutoring. Okay, so one of the demo, it's a math problem with GPT-4o. It's very simple math question, but what's incredible is that it recognizes what's on screen of the tablet. I think they're using a tablet or the PC. I don't know. Anyway, they recognize what's on screen on the tablet, they can recognize what the problem is, and they are able to follow instruction of tutoring, but not telling the person the answer, but nudge them into the right direction, which it did. And that's crazy. And what's interesting is that if the person draws something on the paper or the tablet, just indicating, okay, so is this side a opposite side, or is it an angle or adjacent side, or how I don't, basically it just means that it's recognizing the changes on the screen. So it recognizes the screen, it recognizes the changes to the screen in real time, and then judge whether what's good. It's crazy. So like using these type of tools to teach, it's so good. So basically, as long as you feed it like the basically, I think if you feed it the graduation, or what's it called again? The criteria, or some sort of man, I'm losing the word. Maybe GPT will actually recognize it. But if you feed it the whatever courses you need, it might be able to teach like the at least at the grade school level, right? I mean, teachers already been using this, already using GPT. Why? Because I talked to a friend of mine who is teaching grade. Shoot, I forgot what he. Anyway, I think it's either elementary school or middle school, somewhere around there, somewhere around those level. And basically, a lot of his courses, he planned that with ChatGPT. So people may not know, but teachers, they don't really have a concrete way of teaching. A lot of them are just giving like a criteria they have to meet, like what they have to teach. But a lot of finer details is all up to the teacher. And my friend was basically just refining the lecture or refining the class with GPT. For example, okay, what's the best way to teach like a certain topic? What's the best way to approach a certain topic? What question I can ask? Like what kind of tests I can make? All that kind of stuff. It's crazy. They're already using that. And imagine, and that's using, I think that was using GPT-3. And imagine doing that with GPT-4o. That will improve the efficiency of teaching by a lot. But also, that could also means if the efficiency is too good, like if it's better than the teacher, right? You have to strike a balance, right? For example, right now the role of teacher is greater than ChatGPT, so the teacher is leading the GPT, right? Like a GPT is on the assistant role, but eventually the GPT gonna get so good, it's gonna pass the teacher. Then teachers will be eliminated because you can just rely on GPT to teach, and that's a scary part. I might have to ask my friend what he think about this whole thing, but it's interesting. Definitely, it make homeschooling a lot easier. That's for sure. But also, there's also a question of whether this is correct, right? You can, I think it's kind of hard to verify the correctness of what's being taught by GPT-4o. But you can also make the argument that humans can also make mistakes. Teachers also makes mistakes. So if you compare like how often teachers makes mistakes compared to ChatGPT, I don't know which one will be higher. So eventually, if teacher makes more mistakes than ChatGPT, the ChatGPT will win out, and then the teacher will be slowly, I don't want to say dying down. We still need teachers. Like school is still a great, especially like elementary school and high school, it's still a great place for gaining a certain experience in terms of social interactions. I don't think eliminating school is like a good idea. It's basically, kids need school. Kids do need school. If not for education, at least it's for interactions between kids, and that's very important to form social bonds with other people, with people you never know before. and that really helps forming like a group, forming a society, forming like cooperation, which is what we need. But this does make homeschool a lot easier. And if you're using this for teaching, the school can be a complete like a social ground or something like that, which is, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I guess it's okay, because I don't know what the teachers are doing these days. I don't know. I don't know I don't know. I don't even know what's been happening for education at those kind of levels anymore. So things must have been changed since I was in school. So maybe this will be a welcoming change to that kind of scene, or maybe not. But we never know. But that's one thing. The other thing is there's still so many videos. I haven't even seen all of them yet. There's also the interview prep with GPT. I guess that one's okay. This one's basically like a voice. I think the current 3.5 can kind of do it, but that's more text-based. But this is the if you can do like a voice-based, it might help you more with prepping. That's fine. The other thing that's the other thing that's I think is really good, and that will be real-time translation. Right? Real-time translation, that is incredible. Translators, I think. So there's a job type called, I forgot what's the official called. Basically, when either for companies or for government meeting, they are translators on site, real-time translating like what they were saying, right? And this can basically kind of eliminate that. Well, I'm not sure if it's already eliminating it, but this can really help with translating anything. Basically, everyone can read any sort of text now. And localizers or like manga translator, movie translators, they could be at a risk. Right? I know that Crunchyroll's already been looking into translating manga with AI assistants. The other one is Lullaby and Whispers, and basically that's testing the voice, the capability of the voice, which is also crazy. I'm not sure what harmonizing with two. Okay, so they can talk to each other. Everything is fine. Like, I think the main point is the voice, the AI voice, and the visual recognition, and also real-time problem solving, which is crazy. Oh, also the lab demo for GPT-4o coding assistant. Coding assistant, there's already been some coding assistant, for example, Copilot. But Copilot it's basically kind of like generating a piece of code for you. This one does something different. This one, basically, you copy the piece of code into it. It kind of recognizing what the code does. They can, like GPT can explain what a piece of code does, what a piece of function does within the code. And they can also interpreting a graph, and oh my god, it's even hard to explain. For example, if they can understand code, they can interpret the logic behind the code. I think eventually you can just tell it what you want in a function, and they can just write the whole code base for you. Maybe not in 4o, maybe not in GPT-4o, but it's definitely capable in GPT-5. I'm sure of it. I'm sure this is an exponential growth. So once we get back 4, and once 5 is out to the public, that's gonna be incredible, and that's gonna change almost everything. Especially, I guess, eventually that just means that anyone who can think of something, they can create a game for it. Right? If you have some, like coding, the development part of it, it's no longer a gatekeeper for game development. And for people who doesn't know how to program, can now or maybe eventually be able to make games by using it, by using a AI coder. And all you have to do is think about it. Think about what you want to play. I'm not sure on AI art yet, and that's something more of an iffy area, but this is something. This is something. Really is something. I think that's it. That's it. That's my thoughts for so far. I might watch more of the more of the demos, just to also just to see it, right? Just to see what else it can do.